Okay, welcome everybody to our deep dive on the energy body. There is a class that we teach prior to this class, and that is an overall general energy medicine class that we went over last week. We talked about the aura, we talked about the chakras, we talked about the meridians, we talked about the daily energy routine, and there was so much information to try to fit into even 2 hours that we thought that the next 3 classes in this series are going to deep dive into some of these energy bodies so that you have a better understanding of them. And I want this class to be more experiential. It's going to take us anywhere from just over an hour and 15, probably, or to an hour and 30 minutes. But if we finish earlier, that's fantastic. But there's just a lot of information as we integrate essential oils into energy medicine. And so I'm really excited that you guys get to feel in your own bodies what the energy is. Last week, we talked about the energy, but this week we're actually going to play with it. So this is a lot of fun for all of us. If you have essential oils at home, or if you're watching this in the replay, get out your essential oils. We have some essential oils that we're going to be highlighting from one of our kits. And we also know that there are pretty much any oil that you could use could be used for this class. But if you want to get those out, we're going to start out by playing with the oils and the energy a little bit. But the overview of this class is we're going to start out with just a little mini meditation just to bring us grounded. We've probably all had a long day. And then we're going to talk about essential oils for those of you who are new to oils, just for like a half minute, like really just a short overview of what oils are. And then we're going to talk about basically what energy is. We're going to talk about cause and effect. We're going to talk about the biofield. You might hear that called the aura, the energy field, information field. There's lots of different words for this. And then we're going to talk about just a couple exercises that you guys can do to strengthen the aura. So today's highlights mostly the aura and oils. And I know, because I see who's on this call and I see who's in this room, that many of you are also experts in either Eden energy medicine or other modalities that have to do with energy work and subtle energies. All right. So this is going to be a review for some of you, and many of you have a lot of wisdom to add and to share. So please put that in the chat box if you're online, or you can certainly unmute if you have just some brilliant thought you want to add to the conversation. And that goes for us in the room here. I know Kristen Freeman, Jessica, and I, and Teresa, who's also on this call, went through Eden Energy Medicine together at the same time. And so it's a lot of fun to come back together. But wherever you're coming in at, this is the overview of what we're going to cover. And there's a million other things we could cover on this topic. It's really hard to choose just a couple. So we're just going to highlight a few of them. And the goal for this class is by the time you go home that you're going to have a very basic understanding of what essential oils are. You're going to have a basic understanding of what the subtle energy system is, or the subtle energies that are in your aura or your biofield. And we're going to experience the energy, experience it with the oils, and then we're going to get more familiar with the actual layers of the aura. And that's something that usually comes a little bit later. When we're first discovering energy medicine, we are typically, we're just thinking of this field of energy that surrounds us. Today, we're actually going to break it down. Remember that energy is information. And so when we have information in these different layers, you're going to learn a lot about that. So it's going to be maybe new for some of you. And we're going to talk about some daily habits of how we can keep our energy, how Donna Eden always says, humming. We're going to keep it moving, humming, and just electric and alive. And then for those of you who don't have essential oils in your home, you are going to learn how to get those in your home. Okay. All right. So let's start off with maybe choose an oil. If you're at home, just choose one that you like. And there is a technique that you can do, and just rub your hands together with your favorite oil and take a deep breath. Just an oil that's calming and relaxing to you. And I'm going to walk you through just a very, very simple meditation to put you, just to bring us grounded in our bodies. All right. All right. So people here on this end are gathering their oils, and you guys can be gathering your oils as well at home. And just start breathing your oil in, whatever that oil may be. All of the essential oils have a different property. This is really about being present with yourself. Learning how to manage and track your energy is about personal presence and the sacredness of being whole within ourselves. There's a part of us that's I imagine this spiritual part of us, this light that's inside of us that is always whole and that is always perfect. We each have a perfect design within us. And so when we get away from this design, when we get in our heads and we got this chit chat going on in our heads, then we get away from our center. So sometimes it's just really helpful. I mean, a meditation can be as simple as taking a deep breath. It's a pause. It's a moment of just regrouping and finding where is that. So let me ask you that as we're still passing these oils around, where is your center? Is there a place when you breathe? Can you find an internal place within yourselves that you feel home? And if you can't feel or find that place, that's okay too. But it's going to come through the breath. It's going to come through just a pause and shutting down all of those tabs in the computer of your mind. Just turning those tabs off and starting to breathe in. Okay. So everybody have an oil? Excellent. So close your eyes and just take a deep breath. And think about a space within you. We could call it your happy place. And take a deep breath in through your nose. You might want to put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And exhale and let your tongue relax. Big breath in through your nose. And exhale, relax. Where in your body are you experiencing this place of home, this maybe happy place, this joyful, this calm place? Yeah, you might want to just place your hands on that spot in your body. And continue to breathe. And just notice what you notice in that space. Just imagine that every cell of your body is filling up with the most beautiful, bright light. It's calm. And it's connecting you to your truth. And every breath expands the truth within you. As you breathe it out in, through, and around you, breathe it down to your toes. Breathe it into the earth. All the way to the center of the earth. Deeply grounded through the bottoms of your feet. And just feel that energy of the earth, that depth, that purpose that's within you. It's there. And allow that fire, that fuel, that magna from the earth, allow it to come up through your legs and up through your tailbone, up to the center of your being. Breathe in that. Just expand it. And bring it up to your chest. Let it combine and mix with any other energies you feel or any thoughts. Just welcome them. Just breathing in and out. Every breath. It's expanding the remembrance of who you are, who your creator designed you to be in your perfect state. You know, there's a piece of the creator in all of us, and there's a genius in you. Special gifts and talents. Breathe it up to your throat. Allow it to expand out around you as you're breathing. As it's coming up, it's going out. Up to your throat, your head. Any sensations of your physical body is melting into this perfect state of love. And then imagine that inspiration, that those ideas, the genius, the creativity that comes from life, that comes from love, comes from God. Just allow it now to connect in and come down through your head, meeting that magma of the earth and all of that grounded, purpose-filled energy, your life work. And then just allow it to kind of settle back in from the top to the bottom. Just let it rotate. It's going to figurate up your spine. It's going to connect into your head. And now it's just all connecting into your gut, right at your solar plexus, right where your stomach is. Just imagine that that's where your home is, your truth is. You can smell that oil. A smile on your face. Think about something that you love, something you're grateful for. And just know that this perfect place is always inside you. And it doesn't matter what's happening all around you. You are responsible for the energy field around you. Your beingness is you. And the discovery can take a lifetime. And it's beautiful in its ups and its downs. Learning to communicate with ourselves, recognize ourselves, and then do that with others. So just put your hand somewhere in your body and say, I love you. And then just one last breath as you come back into your body. All right, so go ahead and open your eyes. And just bring yourself back into the room. There's lots of good smells in this room here locally. Do you feel more grounded? Do you feel more present? Now, breathing and just taking a pause, whatever that looks like to you, whatever your spiritual background is so perfect. There's just certain things we share as humanity that we're one with, and that's a breath, and that's a center, and that's love, and that's not a religion, that's not a culture, it's not a location, it's a space, and we all share that. And so by us teaching you about deeper diving into your energy field, and today into this biocomputer that connects you to all of life, it's to help you to remember who you are when you get in your head. You know, the head is a beautiful place. we need our intellect and we need all of the capacities, but it is your center is where we make the best decisions and where we listen. So let's move into this next portion. So I want each of you, as we're talking about different aspects of your energy field today, I'd like you to think about what are your top health priorities. If you could have more awareness and solutions to an area of your life, what would they be? It's going to be very personal for you. Those of you online, if you want to put that in the chat, that's okay. If you want to share that with us. But as you're listening, I want you to listen through the filter of your health priorities in these areas that will make the biggest impact in your life if you could have a shift. And know that by the end of this class, you will have an insight that's going to profoundly change your life. That's what's going to happen right now, today, if you decide that. Okay, so be thinking about that. I'm going to leave you into your thoughts, and we're going to talk about, just to start with, for those of you that are new to essential oils, just basics of, there are 3 ways we use essential oils. When we're working with the energy field, we typically use them aromatically. We'll put a drop in our hands, we'll rub our hands together, and we'll move that energy in our hands through some friction, increasing the vibration and mixing that with our own energy field, which makes essential oils very, very personal, because oils are chemistry and your chemistry is only unique to you. You're the only one with your fingerprint. So when you mix those oils with your friction of your hands, you're actually mixing it with your DNA. So we change chemistry when we mix chemistry. And so oils are very special in that you can customize them to whatever it is you need. And this is a really good way that you can do that. Aromatically using oils, you can use them in a diffuser, a spray bottle. You can just smell them out of the bottle, and it goes up through your nose to this olfactory bulb, and then it goes up to the amygdala. And you can't see the amygdala because it's too central, right? But you have this amygdala that's really the gateway to the emotions, to memories. And it's also the gateway to sending information. It's like the gateway that says fight, flight, or freeze, or everything is okay. So smell is an indicator, even if we're not recognizing it. For some of us, smell is more acute, but for everybody, smell is the strongest sense organ. So that's important to utilize that when we're working with energy, is letting that energy guide you. So when you're choosing oils, it can be any oil that you are drawn to, and you might get out your emotions book and you might use that as a guide to help you with what your health priorities are, or your emotional priorities are, whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're contemplating. So I love aromatic use. It's the fastest way into your blood through the lungs, and the fastest way into your brain chemistry. Okay, so aromatically on a physical level is really great, because it can take care of and work with pathogens in the air. Because what it does on the body and what it does in the body can do it outside the body as well. And that's what it does for a plant. So aromatic is great, but you want to use a pure oil. Why do we want to use a pure oil? What do you guys think? Why, Deb?
It's pure. It's the whole plant. And it reacts with our body. It works with our body perfectly. Our body knows what to do with it.
If it's pure, can you guys hear? Can you get somebody to give me a thumbs up if you can hear, so I don't have to repeat questions?
But if it's been adulterated, then it doesn't work perfectly with our body, and it can have some bad side effects.
Yeah, so that's exactly true. Is pure oils. Imagine an adulterated oil going directly into your brain chemistry. Chemicals are toxic, aren't they? So I sometimes I get a little smile and a little sadness when I see a bottle of oil that I know isn't necessarily pure because there's no regulation. And I know people are smelling that and they'll say for aromatic use only. So things that are adulterated or toxic come in and create more of a toxic load in our body. And that's the whole point of what we're doing, is trying to clean out toxicity. So fastest way into the blood, fastest way into our energy system in the brain. We want something pure. And that's why I only use doTERRA. That's the only oil. So that's aromatically. And then topically, if you want to use it, we are going to talk about in some of the classes as we move forward, we're going to talk about ways you can use the oils on your body with acupoints or meridian lines. There's a lot of different ways that you can use them for energy medicine directly on the body. And then in the body aromatically, by the way, topically, you want to make sure that you use the oils as directed. There are some oils that are more sensitive than others. So like oregano, you might want to use a coconut oil to dilute that. You don't want to put anything caustic on your skin. You can just always dilute that with additional coconut oil. So, and citrus oils, you don't want to be in the sun because that might be harmful. And then internally works with our bloodstream, with our organ systems. You can drink them, you can use them with capsules. And because they're pure, it's going to say right on the bottle that it's safe for internal use. And there'll be a little guideline for you right there. Okay. So in, on, and around you is how we use oils. And we want to make sure that we do that safely. So oils are also energy. Oils are vibrations, and different oils, just like plant medicine, any type of herbology is, or homeopathy is going to be a vibration as well. So in life, everything is vibration. And so our role is to, how do we get in alignment with our design and the vibrations that are naturally wanting to come through us. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand what an amazing tool essential oils are with energy work, because they are going to bridge these systems. I've never seen anything. Show me one thing you know of. Please show me something else that bridges the emotions, the physical body, the energetic body, the electromagnetics. I don't know of anything as far as like a substance, like an herb or something, can't do that the same way. It's phenomenal, because like an herb is fantastic, but it's not going up through the amygdala. I love herbs. That's not the same. We don't use them for the same thing. So I love that we have pure oils that we can use, and we've been playing with them for many, many years. All right. So let's, if there's any questions about essential oils, it was just like, just a little half second on oils. Everybody good? Most people are exposed to essential oils. Just make sure you're using doTERRA oils. Make sure they're pure. Make sure the person who invited you is helping you get them wholesale. We'll talk about that at the end. But this is now, let's move into the basic overview of our energy. We talked about this last week, but in case you missed last week, we have a lot of new faces today. Energy medicine is the study of how energy flows through 9 different systems. And just like you have a physical body and physical systems, the energy body is a counterpart to that. It's a subtle system. So we have a spirit, and we have a mind, and we have a physical body. And the goal is to merge the 3 of those to be one, to be in sync, to be in harmony with each other. And so what is energy? This is not a class on science. I'm not going to break down the components of it, because I don't know that anybody really understands it. But we don't create it. We know that. It's not something any of us can create, but it is something that we can utilize. It's something that we can mold. It's something that we can use as a catalyst to feel excellent in our bodies. And it can also be used to move us. And when we think of energy, when I started bumping into energy fields over 30 years ago, I was a massage therapist, and I kept bumping into these energy fields. And then I started Tuina classes, and I started traditional Chinese medicine, and I studied some of these things. This was a long time ago. So I have, I've been playing with these energies for a long time, but what I noticed was, does energy move itself? What do you think? No. So if energy doesn't move itself, what moves the energy? Other energy. Okay. In what form? So we talked about like the aura, we talked about the chakras. If we can use our hands to move energy, because hands are electromagnetic and we can do this, but there's something behind that. What is that? It's our thought, right? Thought moves energy. So unconsciously, what happens when I was bumping into energy fields is I would see patterns in people, and I could work and manipulate energy and clean it out and clear it out and get it flowing. And then a week later, they would come back and we're just still dealing with the same thing. But consistently using energy techniques every day, it's is the chicken or the egg, right? We can have impact with both. And even though energy doesn't move itself, it can be directed by the consciousness of us. And that's why I wanted in that meditation for you to get familiar with that center. It's in your gut. It's behind the belly button area, like solar plexus and the belly area. That's where the seat of the soul is. And that's where you're going to find yourself. And if you can get familiar with that place, that's the place that we can co-create. And that's the place that we can direct the energies. Your conscious mind is the creator. And so just know that, like, if you start learning how to test energy and move energy, that's great. And we can teach you how to trace things and how to flush things and how to figure eight things. But in the end, your thoughts move the energy. And so I love energy psychology, but then there's another piece even behind that. And so there's a lot of topics here, but just know that there is a cause and there's an effect. We typically find something after it hurts. You know, oh gosh, my relationship doesn't feel good right now. Oh, my physical body hurts. We wait until we've ignored things for a very long time, and then we try to fix it from the outside, and then we get a little impatient. We want to do it fast. So this is something that if you start paying attention and you start being more present with yourself on a daily basis, even multiple times, you can reprogram some of your stress responses. And energy medicine is an excellent tool to do that with, but just know that the cause of it comes from a deeper place, because the energy in and of itself isn't moving itself. It's not, you know, it can be moved by other people, it can be moved by us, but ultimately this little sphere around us is our universe that we get to learn to govern. We have stewardship over this body and our energy field, and we can take charge of that. So some of you are newer to energy medicine. So I want you to feel your own energy. So we all used an oil. So you do have oils on your hands, but with or without oils, rub your hands together until you feel the friction. Give it a good rub. Can you feel that? That moves. Can you feel your heart move? You feel a little heat in your body? Can you feel a little bit of that? If you go fast enough, you're like, oh, I did. Maybe I'm out of shape, but you know, gosh, I feel that. Okay. It impacts all systems. Now, Kathy's over here. Jessica's over there. We're already playing with our energy field. Once you've had a good rub for a minute, and by the way, essential oils will magnify that exponentially. I'm hot now, guys. We're all like hot, aren't we? Okay, so feel the energy between your hands. Feel that. Can you feel the energy? Try it. Can you feel that? Can you put it up by your face? Are your hands tingling? Yes, the tingling is also in your physical body, but there's more than that. Some of you, can you see it? Can you see little strings? Can you feel it? What do you feel? What do you experience? There are different ways to sense energy. Not everybody's visual. What?
For me, it's like a tingle.
It's a tingle, but the tingle's more than just because you put friction on your hands.
like you can feel it coming out the pores of your body.
Yeah.
when you
Okay. So
Start to pay attention.
how
to
does
it.
that feel to you guys? You can put that in the chat box.
It's almost like a
Where do you,
pulsating.
it's pulsating. Kathy, what was yours?
The many chakras.
Little mini
Yeah.
chakras. You can feel that energy coming out. So this palm of your hand is a strong way to feel energy. So if you have somebody in your environment, put your hands like just with your partner, someone near you. Just, I know for you guys at home, maybe you won't do this. You can do this later if you have somebody with you, but just touch. Jessica, put your hand up and see if Chris, you can feel. Okay, so not everybody's going to feel energy because it's brand new. It's subtle, right? If you haven't been paying attention and you've never heard about energy before, then guess what? You're going to be like, wow, I don't know if I feel that or not. But you can play with this and you might be on the whole other side of the room and you can pulse energy back and forth. I can feel Kathy from right here. I can feel the pulsing from you, Kathy. And you can play with that. Okay. Now, the other thing, if you don't have a partner with you, is just now that you have it and you can feel it and stretch it and move it and just experience that, bring your hand over your arm. Just slowly, maybe just even pause. You don't even have to move. And then just slightly see if there's a pressure anywhere. It's just the energy emanating out of you. You can actually see this in photography. They've done since the 60s, at least, maybe even before that, where they had people who could see energy and they hooked them up to electrodes. And the people who watched the energy shift also shifted in sync with the electromagnetic changes, the vibrational changes. Right? Carillion photography, it's all these things. So just you can play with moving your hands in different ways. You can try the other hand. Just get a feel for your own energy, because as we move into chakras a week from tonight, we're going to talk about clearing that. And tonight we're also going to be clearing this. It's real. It's tangible. Energy is just matter, more refined. Okay. It's matter. It's just more refined. We can't see it with our physical eyes, but that doesn't mean it's not there. So play with your energy, realize that you can change the colors and the vibrations just by changing your thoughts. And if you can't change your thoughts, then you use your hands to begin to help move the energy and clear and give you some space to do that. So there's a lot of things that you can do to help identify this. Now, the oils are a really great way to feel it. If you can't feel it, it's okay. Maybe you sense it in another way. Maybe you smell your energy, or you taste your energy, or maybe you use one of the other senses.
Do you have a ghost in the house?
Potentially.
Okay. You did?
Yeah, she's been playing with your hair.
Something.
Yeah.
Come over me just a minute ago, and I don't know what that.
All right. So here's some things. So here are some things that you guys can do in order to keep your energy humming. Okay, guys. So let's focus on some ways that we can keep our energy field healthy. How can we, if you can't feel it, but you feel a little down, you can identify. Here's a couple things you can do. Go barefoot outside. It's called earthing. You can Google search that. There's tons of books and information, but earthing is one of the most effective ways to get your energy field back in sync.
I used to love the way on the driveway out back at my dad's house and look at the stars late at night.
Nothing better.
Out there.
Black. Yeah. Go out in the grass and lay down. People who are compromised in their health could do that for 30 minutes to 2 hours a day. They've studied it and had really great results with chronic and acute health challenges just by doing that. Why? Because the earth itself has an electromagnetic field and we're living on the earth. And so we want to get in sync with what's called the Schumann resonance.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So earthing is one thing you can do. I highly recommend it. Sometimes the weather's not fantastic and you can do it anyway. Right. I would say ground for this particular water is fantastic, but it does have it has a different vibration. But yes, water is great. I can lay in water and have a magical effect, but it's different for me than just laying on the earth. But play with that. Play with that. So hydration, drinking is another thing. We need to be hydrated because it moves energy as well. So hydration, make sure that you're drinking. That is important for every system of your body. And another way that you can work with your energy field is figure eights. Everything from the right and left hemisphere of your physical structure down to the just minute double helix of a cell is moving in a crossover pattern. Energies are healthy when they cross over. Okay. So if you're not feeling healthy, it means your energies might be what we call homolateral, going like this. We want energies to go like this. We want the corpus callosum in the center of your brain to be talking to each other. You guys know that? If you have a stroke on the right side of your brain, where do you feel it in your body? Yeah, same thing. So we know that things cross over and we want this. If you're having communication issues, you can think in pictures and emotions, but you can't quite get it to connect over here with logic and reason and numbers. It's because you're not crossing over. So figure eights, I don't care how you do them slow and melodious, or do them little teeny and fast, or put your favorite music on and dance. Cross crawl. Yeah, move your body. And that just keeps the right and left hemisphere going. It keeps the crossover of the energies going in your body. And that's another one. Now, the oil that we chose for the aura, yes, sitting in whole brain is another one. You can cross your wrists. You cross your wrists, drop your thumbs. So cross your wrist first, drop your thumbs, and then connect your fingers. And then you can drop that in your lap or curl it up. And this is a great way, we call it, it's a modified Wayne Cook exercise, but it's there to help your energies cross over. And it's, we call it sit like in whole brain. This is a way to get in. I call it sitting in whole brain would be if you were sitting down, but you cross your ankles and you can swap them out. Breathe. Remember, breath moves the energy. You're hydrated. You got maybe some lemon oil in your water and you're breathing deeply. And on guard, I like to put it in my hands or certainly going in my diffuser, or maybe breathe. And then just move your hands and then move the oils through the energy field. And you'll be, and if you want to start playing with it, as we start talking more about that, you get more familiar with your energy field around you, you're going to pick up this rhythm. There's a pulsing in all life. All these layers of the chakras in the energy field have different vibrations, and you might pick up something that needs some work in there. So however, you can go forward and backward, you can go crosswise, whatever feels good, whatever pace, just get in, breathe into your center, and then move into that figure eight pattern. Those are some ways that you can keep your energy field healthy. So let's maybe pass around a bottle of On Guard. On Guard is what we call the protective blend. And the protective blend is really nice for strengthening the energy field around us. It's really healthy internally to strengthen our immune system. So it's called the protective blend because it has this, if you look at the individual oils in there, like clove is one of those that help just close things. It protects you. It repels things that are not yours. So if you want to take out your On Guard and smell that first and then move that through figure eights, it's very hot. It has cinnamon and clove in it. Cinnamon and clove, you want to dilute that if you put it directly on your tongue or put it in water and drink it. There, it will go away in a couple minutes if you do put an oil that burns you. All right, so just move the energy in and around you. Can you feel it? And you can stretch. Remember, your energy field goes all the way out to the ends of your fingertips. And you want it to be healthy and strong. So just do those figure eights at whatever, and remember the behind you, right? Behind you and above you and at your feet and on your sides. And that's just a really simple exercise that you can do to move that energy, move it around, honoring where your hands go. If you need to, you can rub your hands together again and just feel connected. And then after you've spent some time doing that, take all of that good energy and just lay it on your body somewhere. I like it on my chest and on my abdomen. Lots of ways to bring in the goodness. Sometimes I'll put it on my throat, or I might calm myself. Lots of different things. Just let your hands guide you. Your hands are information. All of these meridians that end through your fingertips and all those reflex points, they're information, they're endings. So by using your hands, you have information here. So pull that information and place it where it needs to go. They're a tense place on your body. Right? Now there are 7 layers to our energy field. And each of the 7 layers collaborate with one of the chakras. And this is a very basic view of our energy field. Our energy field, the more refined we become, the more we let go of all those tabs that no longer matter, all those things we need to forgive and forget, and things that we need to say I'm sorry for, or things that are stressful. There's moments where we need to use our head and get through those, but most of us spend a lot of our time up here worrying and thinking and wasting precious presence. How many moments of pure presence do you create in a day? A moment where you stop and pause. I want you to think about that for a second. How many moments of pure presence do you create in a day? Because remember, your thoughts move energy, and what you think about is where your energy goes. It's a universal law. So how many moments of pure presence, and how many moments can you be thinking about the things that you want rather than the things you don't want? So that's a little self-assessment for you. How often are you thinking about the things you want to experience? Do you know that your brain doesn't know the difference between thinking about something and actually experiencing it? The past comes alive when you think about it. It's right now. There is only right now. So the more moments that you can stretch into pure presence, you can actually be washing the dishes or driving the car or gardening. You could be at your computer and still be connected to this core gut through the breath, grounded into the tailbone, into the pelvic floor. You can feel the energy of your purpose and deeply rooting into the earth. You can do that. It takes practice though, because we're not used to going into grounding. What are we used to doing? Right over here. Yeah. Distractions. Right. So this is just, it's a daily art. So learning how to do something different. So tonight, even though this is a deep dive, there's a lot of information. Some of us went to school for 3 or 4 years to learn about all these things. So we can't do that in an hour and a half. But what we can do is I can introduce you to what these are and how we use them, or I mean, how they're relevant, what their roles are. And then if you're interested in it, you can learn more, right? Because they're just way too much. But the more refined you become, the more you'll see that there's more than 7 layers to everything. Everything is connected, right? So there's more than 7 chakras. There's more than 7 layers. But for today, this is a really good place to start, because for most of us, we're barely what's at the center of all of these energy, our body, and we're still trying to figure out how to be in tune with our body. And so we have plenty to keep us busy with 7 right now, don't we?
Absolutely.
Some of you might be way ahead of me in your spiritual walk, and maybe you are more refined than that, but I think that there's real value in staying here. So as we look at the aura, as we look at these layers, here's just some bullet points, is that it surrounds your entire body. So it's not, even when we talk about the chakras, it's not like just what we see in the front, it goes all around you. And so we want to be in tune with this space all around us, our universe. Just like the earth has an atmosphere around it, that's what our energy field, our aura is for us. And it's like an antenna. It allows things to come out, and it draws things in based off of our thoughts. Because remember, in and of itself, energy is not moving itself. It's being moved by thoughts of yourself and other people. All right, so we get to learn more about that. It can extend several feet around you, usually to at least outside your fingertips would be ideal. At least to your fingertips would be great. And it pulsates. It's something that pulsates. It's your life force from that center. It pulsates out around you, and it's all around the body. And the inner, as we go through each layer, the inner layers are dense, and they vibrate slower. And as we go out the energy field, they're going to pick up in their vibration and their space. And so some of the layers, it's not important for our context tonight, but the even and the odd layers tend to have different responsibilities that help. Some of them are more structured than others. And the benefit is to help us to be regulated inside of our physical body. And so some things help structure that around our physical body. And then others tend to be more fluid, and they're more yin. So a yang would be more structured, and then yin would be more fluid, and it helps to achieve a balance. And what I love is how they all have their own rhythm and life within them. And that means if they're filtering things in and moving things out, that means things can sometimes get stuck in there. Thoughts are unresolved trauma, right? Fragmentation, spiritual fragmentation, emotional fragmentation from things that we didn't resolve in our life. I don't care if you're not thinking about it right now. If something ever happened to you and you didn't neutralize it somehow, it's still alive. And it just comes up when you're triggered. And the goal would be to harmonize it. And so the way that our system is set up is designed to move. It's almost like, it reminds me when I see it in my inner vision, it's like the peristalsis, it's like things kind of move the food down, the little hairs in your gut kind of move things, right? It's moving it down your gut. Well, the energy field and the layers of the chakras kind of pump things in and out. There's this natural harmony and rhythm. It's a natural universal pulse. And your unique signature energy is part of the whole, right? So the more clear we can be, the more clear everybody is. We have a tendency to expand what's around us. We also chose 7 oils. Again, this is based off of one of our kits for those of you who don't have oils in your home, but there are 1,000 oils out there that we could choose from. Maybe not 1,000, but several hundred anyway. And so we chose, Jessica, which kit was this? This was the,
Emotions.
I think it was the, I think this is the emotional aroma kit. And so we chose balance for the first layer, wild orange, cheer or citrus bloom, breathe, serenity, adaptive, and northern escape. When we go over the chakras, you're going to see that there's a lot more choices that can be utilized. So whatever oils you have, just as you think about the properties of each of these layers, then you might choose an oil based off of your own essential oil knowledge. So the first layer of your aura is called the etheric, and it's nurturing to your physical body. It's closest to your physical body. In fact, it just comes just barely outside of it. It's easiest. So those of you who are learning to see energy, you might see little pulsation of light around people sometimes. Sometimes it's a kind of a bluish gray. Sometimes I see it as almost sometimes I see it almost as an electric blue when I see energy. I don't know, maybe that's just my eyes, but it's just right around the whole shape of a person. Sometimes it's easier to see energy from here to here for people. And it doesn't just, it's not like you look at energy. That's why sometimes you go, gosh, did I really see that? It's better on like a dark background, and you can just see it, but it pulses in and out. It's got a pulse to it. So you might go, I saw it. No, I don't. I saw it. No, I don't. Wait, wait, did I see that? You know, and if you start looking like with your eyeballs straight up, sometimes you lose it. But if you soften your gaze and you just notice, sometimes when I watch people, I just watch people, and I'm watching from my core. I'm watching from my spirit to see their spirit. And that's when I can see better. But again, not everybody sees energy, but we sense it in some one of our senses. Right. I've worked with a lot of people, and I know, and practitioners, and some people are like, gosh, when I'm with this type of person, I get a metallic taste in my mouth. Or when I'm with this person, she smells like roses. I don't know why. I smell roses every time she comes around. If we're angry all the time, it might come out as a different smell. I know when couples who have high smell as a cognition that they really learn through smell or receive through smell, when they're fighting with their partner, they don't like the smell of their partner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, for some people, or you get a bad taste in your mouth. There's a reason why we say that. You get a bad taste in your mouth. So don't, if you can't see colors, most people can't. That's just, sometimes we see a little flicker because this first layer, this etheric layer, is the closest to our body. And so sometimes you might see a little resonance of energy. It's totally normal. I think all babies are born with that gift because it's just natural. But not everybody's role in life and personality and design in life is, to watch people's energy. Some people are more physically geared. And so anyway, each vibration is also a musical note or a sound. And so when we start, this is connected to the root chakra. And so the first, do I have that on here? Yeah, associated with the root chakra. So because it's associated with the root chakra, the note, the musical note is C. So you could hit C on the piano, or I play the clarinet. I might play C on the clarinet, or I might have a tuning fork. I've played a lot of years with tuning forks, and that's a lot of fun, isn't it, Deb? Yeah, so tuning forks, you can get it in a C. And you can use that if you felt like this is something that you want to focus on. Maybe you're wanting to focus on that root survival energy, or maybe you're wanting to work with, as you see here, like it's, so you want to strengthen your physical body. You might get a C in a tuning fork or something. You can actually buy tuning forks in a lot of places. Just type in tuning fork. It's a whole science, and it's an art, and it's a system, but you can get tuning forks. Piano tuners use tuning forks, right? But anyway, you can also play, you can type in like root chakra. It's not going to be as popular to say etheric body, music for the etheric body. Maybe it's out there. It probably is. It's out there. Okay. So just type in music for the etheric body, and you will get C-based music that will vibrate. I have an acoustical table. I have a vibroacoustic table where I can run this through my table while you're laying there, and it feels so good.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it is a cool tool. I haven't used it in a while. I need to pull that out. So anyway, note C,
I'll be your boss.
you can sing. You can sing and hit a note, or play it on the, wherever. We have music all around us that we can plug in, and just hum it. The body is vibration, so get in tune with it. If you're not feeling safe or the survival's not there and you don't feel your purpose in life and you need to ground in and be present and have moments of pause, play some music with C in it. Like that middle C is a good place to start. So you'll see people, if you want to see energy, it might be easier to see it with athletes, people who are physically athletic, because that's pulsating through and it really coordinates with the physical body. And those who lead a more sedentary life, that light around them on this layer might not be as strong and readily able to do its jobs. It works with your tissues, your muscles and your bones. And yeah, so that's your first layer. And we picked an oil over here, and we picked, as I mentioned, we picked balance. And balance is a really grounding oil because it uses the trees. It uses parts of the tree. It's a blend of oils and it is fabulous. But can you guys think of all of the root oils like vetiver and myrrh, which is a resin? Frankincense is a resin. Myrrh is great because it's actually it's the yin energy of the earth. Myrrh is a really great one for this energy field. And so any of those will work. The second is the emotional body. And that deals a lot with our inner feelings because the name says it all. It's emotional. And so while this one is orange in color, it can actually move with a lot of ranges of colors, because every emotion you have, if you run like a roller coaster of emotions all the time and you're up and down, your energy field in this layer is going to be very fluid, right? It's going to be moving and it's going to change. And so as you're imagining like that first layer, you can see the color, but then all of a sudden, like you might start to get more refined in what you're able to see or feel or sense. And you'll see the movement of all of these different colors depending on the mood somebody is. I remember when my children were young, I used to go, you can't lie to me. You just simply can't lie to me, because I can see this green, slimy energy coming out of your throat when you say something untrue. Like it's like a cartoon bubble for some people. They say something and you're like, your words and energy do not match. And so you may not be able to see the colors, but you're going to go, something's not sitting well. Like that's just, something's not sinking. I don't know what it is. You'll learn that's a space of information. When you get a hit, you go, pause. Where am I feeling that in my body? I wonder what that could mean. And just start asking your system questions. Like, I had this inclination. Do you know that every person who's ever, not every person, every person they interviewed who had been like, they were getting in their car and somebody went to attack them, or they were in a location where they got hurt. When people interviewed them, they said, I had a feeling. Every one of them said, I had a feeling. And I knew I shouldn't have done that. Have you ever made a decision and you knew you shouldn't do something and you did it anyway? Right? That's part of life. It's how we learn. But the point is, if you pause and start to honor those little signals that come out, it's information. It's not, it's like if your car, you're driving and it's like flashing a red light to go get your tire pressure checked, or your oil is low. And you're like, I don't want to see that button anymore. I'm pulling out that little plug. And so, great, light's gone. Do we get numb like that in life? And we just unplug and decide just to be numb? But that doesn't mean it went away. And so the point is if we can start to listen to those intuitive hunches in the way that you receive them, it's going to be different. You know, whatever background you have, you'll hear it in that language. In a say a Christian or spiritual background, you might hear like that still small voice told me. I felt the presence say, don't go there. This might not be the right decision for you. In other context, it might just be like, yeah, I just had this little knowing inside me, this inner guidance. We all have inner guidance. We all have it. There's something outside this flesh, right? So whatever that is to you, listen to it more often, because we are the sum total of what we're putting out there unconsciously and consciously. This is associated with the womb chakra. So if you like put your hand underneath your belly button, that's your womb chakra. And this is a seat of creativity. And so in this, there's a lot of movement. The ability to tap into what some people call psychic abilities, or outside of the senses, the normal 5 senses, can also be nurtured in this area. So if you are having some of those experiences and you don't know what to do with them, you can help manage and using the figure 8s and working with this womb area. But that's where the emotional body is associated with. If you're feeling upset, the colors get darker and muddy. It's convoluted for people who can see it, but you'll feel it if you don't see it. And it is the second layer out from your physical body. And that essential oil that we picked is wild orange. And wild orange is a beautiful sunny oil. It's about creativity and playfulness. We call it liquid sunshine for a reason. And so that's a really good thing to introduce into the layer of the aura that deals with inner feelings. And it's the note D. All right. So we're moving up the musical scale. The third one is our mental body. And that's our thoughts and our mental processes. And as we start moving out, you can start, I don't know, it's different for everybody. So you can't say it's exactly this far out from your body, but usually, like, when you get more practice, you can actually test the layers of the aura, and that's fun. But yeah, I mean, you can just start feeling, you can feel where they are. Well, some people can. What happens for me is when I feel them, the sensation in my hands changes. So just start noticing that the tingles feel differently. If those of you that were feeling a tingle, like you just might feel a different density. It might feel like, oh, it's super movie here. Like it just moves. And then another part of it might go, this feels like clouds to me, where right here felt super easy to move my hands through. Right. So just play with it. There's no right or wrong. You're just discovering right now. The note is E. The essential oil is cheer. And cheer is a blend of oils. It's a bright yellow. It's a bright yellow color, and it's beautiful. Maybe, Kenna, we send around a citrus oil. Cheer, if we have cheer right here, that is an excellent one. This mental one is thoughts and mental processes, and so it's associated with the 3rd chakra, or the solar chakra. It gives us access to the ability to co-create. There's a lot of personal power in here and ego, and as far as the chakra that it relates to. And so it represents this area, thoughts, our cognitive processes, and the state of mind. And oftentimes when we're looking at this one, you're going to see the aura, not that high. You're going to see the aura around your head. That's a really easy, head and shoulders tend to, for this layer, you might see it here. So that's exciting. When you are too much in your head, this is one that's you're going to see this more heavily in people who are in front of their computers, who are working all the time. They're in their mental capacity. This is the one that governs that. And so if you have an overactive mind, you can't sleep. This is also that one. If you're feeling like you're coming up, sometimes I'm creating a project, you might see that represented as little sparks coming out of this field. Remember, every thought is like a comic bubble. Everything is energy. Every single thing is energy. Right? It's going to be amazing when we live on a planet where we're authentic with ourselves. We have a responsibility. I think it's really easy to project out, like, I wish this world was more honest, and I wish everybody in the world, and I want to live in peace and all these things.
Let's start with us.
We have to start with us. We can only start with us. And then we can impact and influence. So the moment you start going into your head and making judgments about another person or judgments against yourself, even, just know that this isn't the place where the magic is in this context, right? Drop back into that center and see yourself in your wholeness, and then allow other people that grace as well. This is really stimulated through meditation. The breath, the meditation, because it's calming the mind. You're going to stimulate it through that. And you can play the note E. You can see we're going up the musical scale. We're going out the musical scale. So E is this one. You could wear bright yellow. You could wear the colors of what you want. Remember those top 3 health priorities. You want to wear the colors or have them in your home or have them around you. You could pull it up on your screen. You could have a piece of fabric. You could do lots of things. You can have, in energy medicine, we have little either glass or plastic colors that we shine flashlights through to work on specific points in the body. But you could just utilize foods, utilize colors as we're going through this, utilize the notes. They all come into the same place, right? That's all just information. If you're having issues with personal power, you need to stand up taller, you need to be more successful, you want to be on your game. That's coming from this area and it's impacted. So can you imagine if you are feeling like, gosh, I can't do anything and I have low self-worth right now and I just am not moving things. My thoughts kind of go down, my vibrations go down, I slouch over. Where's this one? Right here, right? So if I'm slouched over, where do you think slouches? Why do you think? And by the way, it's all around us. Why do you think we slouch? It's our energy might be collapsing in these auras and there's nothing. Remember, they shape. Some of them are structural. So some of them are gonna hold you in place. So if you're having a problem up here, then you're probably gonna have the 5th or the 4th. Some of us over a computer all the time. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm sitting in front of my computer. Bonk. This is the mental, and I'm collapsing my mental field. Isn't that just fascinating? All right. So the next one is astral. Yes.
Questions. Andrew had some good questions. She said,
and I don't know if you guys can hear, but Andrea's questions are being answered right now.
oh, they are.
No,
Oh.
you're going to read Andrea's questions and I'm going to answer them. That is you.
No. She was saying, do food colors match up with the chakras? And then double checking to see if E is like the musical vibration.
E is the musical note, Andrea. So you can play E. You can type in astral body, music for the astral body, music for the ethereal body, music for the whatever body you want of the layers of the energy field is called astral, and then add body if you want to look at the 4th one. All right. Okay, so food colors do match up with the chakras. You can do a whole diet based off of, we do that sometimes when we do retreats. If we're working on root chakra, we're going to eat roots. We're going to eat colors. We're going to have depth. Oh, she. All right.
You watch the replay.
Yeah. So yeah, colors do matter. You can just incorporate, have fun with this. See what colors are in your house right now. What colors surround beige? Beige, boring. That's what I've heard that most Americans do, by the way. We're just kind of calm and neutrals.
I used to have a very dark red couch.
Dark red couch. What are you drawn to? What kind of clothes are in your closet? There's a lot more to this conversation, but just kind of notice what you like to listen to. It all matters. It's all doing something. So I think this is really cool. So astral body is divine records. The oil is breathe, and it's going to open up the lungs.
If you'll notice, a lot of times you'll have a collective fashion statement that people are making. And right now, emerald green, which is the heart chakra. So I think that's pretty cool because everybody
You can see. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really.
There's a lot to this, and just notice what you notice. Notice what people wear. Notice what people eat. Notice, we're reflecting out who we are, and you can notice that if we take the time to care about that. All right, the oil is breathe for this one, because this area governs, when it's connected to the fourth chakra, it's connected to the heart, and so that governs the lungs, it governs grief, it governs universal, it connection with other people. You'll see astral cords. Maybe the word astral is a little off or different for you, but just think of that as connection. You think a thought, you send out a cord. You love somebody, it's in your heart space. And so this fourth layer out is connected to those records. It's where we're storing loving, intimate relationships when it's strong, and then it weakens when we have breakups or pain in that area. So energy practitioners will actually be able to look from this layer to have an idea of what's happening. Because remember, we're connecting a whole field around us, and the chakras come out too. So this is kind of the center. This is the middle. The bottom three layer, or the outer three layers, are connected to those lower chakras and energies. And then the top, this is the middle one, and then there's three above it. So this one's kind of that center out here of the field. And it can be pink or rosy in color. And I know that the heart chakra is typically depicted as green, but in the case of the astral body, it's going to be out here, and it's going to usually show up as a pink or rosy color. And
I've heard that from the upper part.
The high heart, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little different than the astral body out here, but yeah. Okay, so the note is F. So you can look that up, or look up astral body, and that will give you an idea. And you can put these oils in your diffuser. You can put them on your body, in, on, and around you, most of them. The blends are typically topical or internal. The fifth is the etheric body. It's divine will and structure. And so Serenity is the oil we chose because it has lavender, which is the oil of communication. This one connects in at that throat. And so it's really about communication and manifestation. We manifest, our words that we speak come from the back end of our unconscious thoughts sometimes. Do you ever say things and you're like, wow, where did that come from? Or you say, it can happen both ways. But consciously and unconsciously, we are speaking truth. It's our authentic expression of who we are. And it takes down from this information here and it pulls up. Last week, we talked about the throat is in channels in the chakras. Out here, it is also about divine will and structure of taking this information and then having it come into a structured form from this divine part of us. And it's very much activated by sound because we make sounds with our throat. And so this is also activated with vibration. So anything you can do that's vibratory is really good. I think sound tables, tuning forks, pianos, musical instruments. I love, I have a little, a drum that you sit on and you can pound on it. It's just, the whole thing vibrates. Those have different sounds where you hit it differently. Bowls, crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, those types of things are sounds that are vibratory, and there's all kinds of them. Add your oils in here, phenomenal. So this blend of oils, if you have lavender, that's a good one. Geranium's a great one. Geranium's great for the heart too, but things that help us to speak our truth. All right, so pick your favorite oil. Serenity is a great one. Blues, it varies depending on the expression, which is why I gave you that story of my kids. You say something and it doesn't feel right or it doesn't look right. And we may not always say something. Just because you see it or feel it doesn't mean you need to say something, by the way. Or we need to know when it's appropriate. Some of us don't have any filter, and some of us have too much of a filter. We need to find harmony. The goal is to find balance and to honor ourselves and others in the expression. And see if there's anything else in here. This one here is, again, it's about structure, and it really relates back into the physical structure. So that first layer and this second etheric layer is what they say, double etheric is what they call it sometimes. Yeah, so the more authentic you are, the more you'll strengthen this part of the field around you. And remember, this field around you is filtering what comes in or what comes out. So if you're not being honest with your words, or you're surrounding yourself with people who aren't honest with your words, this part of your energy field can't filter properly. What is it going to let in? What does it let out to other people? How do we impact each other in that way? That's a responsibility we have in relationships. So we want to think about ways we can strengthen that. All right. Yeah, that's a great one. No is G on that one. And the sixth one is called the celestial body, and it's more about enlightenment as we start moving up into opening our capacity. Some people call that the third eye or the ajna. And if you're in yoga or something like that, that will be your ajna. And this is really, again, that's where it's associated with the third eye. And we're now getting out here to, we're out here in our energy field. So I don't know if you can feel the different layers or not, but we're getting pretty far out. By the way, what happens when your energy field starts to collapse in around you? Like when it starts collapsing, are you noticing, like when you wrote down your top health priorities, are you noticing some of these areas that perhaps, remember, it crashes in around to protect you sometimes when you're sick or when you're depressed, when you need to process something, you need to protect yourself in some way. What's crashing in are these layers of the aura are condensing around you. They're getting very, very dense. Some of these on the outside, like this sixth one, it's all about enlightenment. So if you're really deeply rooted in your personal problems right now, and you're not feeling safe or secure financially or emotionally or something, those bottom three layers and chakras probably are pretty dense. And so just be thinking about how you can work with that. Here is, we chose the oil adaptive for this one. It's a fantastic oil that works with calming the mind. So there's a lot of oils, all of like our grapefruits and our citruses have a lot of D-limonene in them, which is a great regulatory, it's used in a lot of our products for mental health and for relaxation. And so, adaptive was the oil that we chose for this one. So you might notice, if you love oils, which ones you're usually grabbing for. So maybe you're on the enlightenment journey right now, and you really want to have more insights that don't come from just the brain and the cognition, although that does regulate in this area, but you want to start seeing things from a different perspective. And this color is a pearly white. And it's a very strong vibration. We're moving up in vibration. And so it's going to resonate at a lot higher rate. And this is where we start to connect outside of ourselves with other divine beings. And it's where unconditional love and feelings of oneness flow. You might have thought that would come from that fifth or fourth connection. But the celestial body is where we start to expand out our own beyond our awareness. Some people have the ability to communicate with, maybe you have a loved one who's passed on, or you might see or feel, you might be more sensitive to spirits. And that's coming typically from this part of you is more sensitive and more aware. So this is stronger in some people, and others not so much. They're more grounded into the rootedness, and we need everybody, right? But we do all have the ability at some point to experience all areas of ourselves. It's just an exploration, depends on where you want to spend your earth life. There's only right answers for you. This one here is really strong with unconditional love. We want to come from places of unconditional love, so that what we see when we expand our vision is of that vibration. Now, if you have experiences that are scary to you or don't feel good, it may be that the vibration of these other areas that we've talked about need to be cleaned out and need to have more awareness. The note is A. The 7th is the causal body. And there's different names for some of these, but we're going to just call it the causal body. And it's really about divine and universal consciousness. So it's not necessarily about enlightenment and learning and understanding and experiencing this out here. This is just about the oneness that we all are, right? There is a creative power that created all of us, whatever you can, if you don't believe that, that's okay too. I believe that there is a creative power and that we are all part of that creation. And so this is about understanding that we may not love the external behavior or situations that we're in, but if you have a place that's always pure and beautiful and whole, so does everybody else. If they are alive on this planet, there is a space inside them too. And what would be the most effective thing for ourselves and other people would be is if we could see through that eye. If we could see through the eye of love, if we could see through how to, it could even think about that. If you're seeing people from the outward behavior, it actually impacts you as much as it impacts them. Actually, probably impacts you more. So be thinking about that and try to see through people's behavior and be more patient with people. That doesn't mean we put up with things. We don't have to be with people who are not choosing to be more universal love, but we can also be kind and set examples for and model this just because it's impactful to everybody. So the note on this is B, and it's a gold violet color. And it's connected to our crown chakra. And this is one that really, some of them are more structured fields, some of them are more fluid. This one has the shape of an egg around us and this golden egg. So you can imagine as you're breathing in, if we were to do another meditation right now, as we would go into that center space and connect into that space with our creator. And then imagine it coming in and around you, like the shape of an egg all around you. And it's this beautiful space. And it's the furthest away. We want this to be about 2 to 3 feet away, usually where your fingertips end. And so this holds information about the soul, about the wholeness. And it is a very high vibrating and it is rapidly pulsing. And so as we start working with this part of our energy field, we can start moving out here. You'll notice where you move your hands also when you do your figure eights or when you're doing anything. And you're going to see, oh, look where I typically go right around here. So, 3rd and 4th area are areas I know that my system is calling me to. If I find myself really out here and I'm moving and stretching and just moving my body, I'm expanding and talking to information, talking to the energy field. You may not have that language, but you're talking to you're communicating with yourself. When it's strong, it gives you the ability to surrender to the path of the divine, and it can help increase again those abilities to reach the psychic abilities that we all are gifted with on some level. So there's a few exercises we can do to work with, even though now you've learned about the 7 layers, you can see it's a ton of information. It's, it's not something you have to know about unless you want to, because just by doing things like figure eights, we've talked a lot about figure eights. You can use your favorite oil. If you were taking notes or screenshots or something, you could say, oh, I really need to work on this 4th area. And I'm going to use breathe, or I'm going to use ylang-ylang, or I'm going to use what other favorite heart oils, pink pepper. Or there's all kinds of oils that we can choose. And then we just start doing any of these. So figure eights are great. You can do them anywhere, all around your body, whatever size, whatever speed. That is totally up to you. Just play with that. All right answers. And then the other one is there's 3 other ones here that we can demonstrate for you. And one of them's just swimming. All right. Okay, so I'm going to turn my screen just a little bit so I can move out from behind my computer so I can demonstrate that. But swimming is just, okay, I want everybody to do this with us. Everybody kind of move your body. If you can stay seating, you can stay seated at home. But this one is just literally like you're swimming. And you can go real, just move your body like you're swimming almost. And you're moving, your hands are moving the energy. So you swim like that, you can swim however you want. But what we're trying to do is we're moving the energy, we're connecting these layers. We're helping them to feel each other. So just move, you can move forward and backward. You can do it. You can do, yeah, just do it and go whatever speed you want. It feels good sometimes as I'm pausing just to like, and just move with the breath, you know. And then sometimes I'm just like, oh, it's a great day. And my swimming moves faster. Might go together, right? So you're just, the goal is though to reach all of your energy fields. So you can go down lower and go on the sides. Right? You can move it and just swim through that. The other one is I'm going to go to the hookup. That's easy. You're going to put a finger between your eyebrows and one. I like to use my middle fingers in my belly button and my third eye or my ajna, and just hold that. That's going to connect the governing and the central vessel. And that is a really, it's hooks you up.
Does it matter which hand you use?
No. No, you can even switch your hands if you want to.
Because I know one and one.
You can, well, that's doesn't matter right here. What we're trying to do is we're using our fingers, whatever finger you choose, on the line of the central and on the line of the governing vessel, which we talked about with the meridians. And we're connecting the two so that this energy can start to move. Hooking us up is really a good core to helping regulate the energy field around us. It's just a simple thing. Breath moves energy. So when I'm talking, but when you guys are doing that, it's just, it doesn't have to be a deep, you're not pushing hard. You're just gently holding it because you don't want to feel the pulse of your blood. You want to feel the energy. Just allow it. And if you don't feel energy, just wait for yourself to take a deep breath. It's usually 2 to 3 minutes. Sometimes it's taken me 20 minutes, no joke. Like I've been in a place where I could go a long time before anything hooks up. And if that's you, it's okay, just hold it. And there's other things you can do. You can reach out.
To take deep breaths, that's when you know you're hooked up.
There. Yep, you'll just take a spontaneous breath and you're just gonna know. You're gonna go, oh. Yeah. That feels good. Okay, and the last one to help keep your energy flowing is called the Celtic weave. And the Celtic weave is, again, you are communicating with these layers of the aura. And I don't know if you guys can see me on long, but if you want to look up, Prune Harris has a great one. Just type on YouTube, Prune Harris Celtic weave, and you can watch it. But basically, you're going to start, I like to rub my hands together. I put them on my leg. I like to, you can just rest your hands on your thighs. But I always like to start with this. She in the video starts by putting her hand on there. And you can put your hands on your thighs and imagine like when we were meditating that energy from your fingers is going deep into the earth. And it's just helping you feel more grounded. If you're doing martial arts, they really work on stances and moving your right. You got to be grounded and centered. Your center, your core, everything's like centered. And so that's what we're doing is we're helping get grounded first. Rub them together and then put them by your ears. And you feel the energy by your ears. Okay, and then you're going to put your elbows together and you're going to cross over and slice through your energy field, right? So it's hard to do sitting down, ladies, but I'm going to let you sit. But I want you to know how to do it when you go home, right? Thighs, rub, hands by your ears. You should feel that, hold that for a minute. not a minute, but, you know, pause. Elbows together and move through, and then just slice through all the way down. Okay, and then you can stretch, stretch, and then you're gonna move your hands back. And then you're gonna scoop up the energy, and you're gonna move it all the way up over your head. Pour that energy back over your head, and then just let it come down. Right, and then you could start over.
I could feel your
Elbows.
energy from it. That's pretty neat. Like I can feel it on the bottom of the foot.
And you can rotate front, hands in the front, left hand, right hand, right? And then you hang. Hands back. And then bring the energy back up over your head. Just let it just ooze down. Okay, and then you can do some figure eights. So that gives you some exercises. You can look any of these up on YouTube. They're up there. You can type in Donna Eden. This is some of these are part of the daily energy routine, which I highly recommend. It's a good source for you there. And I'm going to end here with the presentation, but I'm going to stay on. What time is it? And just answer any questions or look at the chat. But for those of you who don't have essential oils yet, you want essential oils in your life, and you want pure essential oils, and just play with your oils if you already have them, because there's no wrong answer. Just play with them. If you don't have them though, we would love to invite you to be part of our oily family. We want you to have knowledge and information. These types of classes we do all over the planet. We have people all over. And we do classes, and we have a lot of very talented people on our class, in our team. And so you're going to learn a lot of really neat things. Last night, Karen Hand, who is an acupuncturist, did a fabulous class on the seasons. And so I caught where she was talking about spring, and it's energy medicine too. It's traditional Chinese medicine. You can talk about the different rhythms of these seasons and which oils go with that. That's a really high level learning that you guys are getting to participate in. We're doing there's 2 more classes in this series. This was a 4-part series. Next week is not. And then 2 weeks. In the chat box, you're going to see the link to that. We're doing Facebook invites if you are on Facebook, but if you're not, just reach out and it's going to be on this same Zoom link. It's always here. And we will do that on I think it's on the 19th. No, it's on the 23rd.
The 23rd.
The 23rd, we're doing another class. So that will be great. And we're going to go deeper diving into the chakras. And it's going to be fabulous. So we would love you to be part of our team. If you're not, you can buy oils retail. You can buy them wholesale, or you can buy them below wholesale. Okay, so we would like you to get them below wholesale at the same price we get them. And the person who invited you to this class would be delighted to help you hand select the right oils for you. What are the ones based off of your top 3 health priorities that you're going to use them every day? And we want to give you daily habits. Today, we gave you some oils that work with energy, and that every one of them works for a bunch of other things. Like I mentioned, lemon in your water, or On Guard is a protective blend for your immune system. So you can have that in your home every day. You can massage balance on the bottoms of your feet when you get up. Whatever layer of your aura that you really said, ooh, that's one that I'd like to expand and really get to know. Look at the oil in that one and use it, play with it, and see if you can have more and more experiences with that. So we welcome you into our doTERRA family. Thank you so much for being here. We hope that you'll join us next week, and you can RSVP just so we have a head count of who's coming, especially here in person. In 2 weeks, not next week. And I am going to just look at any questions that you guys have. I'm happy to answer anything. Were there anything left in the chat box, family?
The one that didn't get, Denise had a couple comments.
All right. Do you guys want to unmute? Any thoughts? Do you love energy medicine? Do you love playing with it? Dinah's saying yes, she does. And Charlie's nodding his head too. Way to go, Charlie. And Andrea has given us a heart. Okay. All right. Well,
I unmuted. This is excellent.
hi,
This is really
Denise.
excellent. I hope you can't see me.
We can't
I
see
just-
you. I have you broadcasted on my big screen TV, so no, we can't see you.
Hi Denise.
Hi, Jessica. I think hi, Dinah, McKenna. I think that's all the voices I hear.
Yeah, you're hearing the people here in my home too.
Yeah.
We all say we love you guys and
Well,
love
this is-
having you. So was this helpful, Denise? Was there anything new you learned today?
Yeah, kind of like energy medicine is not really what I'm officially taught. And although hanging around you and your sidelines, I pick up a lot, but not really in a structured, an organized way, just what I pick up. But it's really nice hearing the structure and confirming what I'm picking up. So I'm probably better at, I got a better sense of intuition than I've given myself credit for.
Yes, I would agree with that. I pick up, isn't it interesting that we can pick up on each other's gifts and talents before we do ourselves?
And I really do appreciate all that your sidelines, that this is an interest of theirs. If I leave this bedroom and go tell my kids, guess what I learned today? Like they probably send me to the nut house. And really, I think I have a lot of local friends that just really aren't appreciating this information
Mhm.
at such depth. Yeah, the chakras, but yeah, not really how the movement and the energy and the auras and feeling the energy and the earth is energy. And
Mhm.
boy, I need to go lay out on the earth. I gotta go lay outside.
So good. It's so good.
Tree.
Yeah, trees. It is good. But again, it's not for everybody. It is, but I love that it's for those who it's for. It's important to have the knowledge to know how to navigate it because it's it takes a minute. So like anything, right? Any specialty or any job that we do, there's learning behind it. So thank you, Denise, for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Any other thoughts? I have some experts on here. Doreen, it's so good to see you. You want to unmute, Doreen?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Hi, I've enjoyed all those, especially with the oils and the chakras. I would learn to love how to be able to see auras.
There's things you can do to help refine that for you. So we can next week or in 2 weeks, the next class we do, we're going to talk specifically about chakras and
Okay.
and how to use the oils and how to clear them out and some of those things. So
Okay. I apologize. I've been on.
you're muted again. Doreen, you're muted. I can't hear you. I don't know, Doreen, I know you were talking, but you're muted, so we couldn't hear you. You're still muted. And you're still muted. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Say hi to David.
I see David somewhere back there. David and Michelle and Brittany,
Hi, David. We missed you tonight.
Teresa. Love seeing all of you guys on here tonight. So I hope for you guys bring your friends for the chakra one because everybody's heard about chakras, but what do you actually do with them?
Yeah.
And there's so much more I wanted to actually teach you guys tonight about how to test the auras and things like that, but maybe we can fit that in next week. So, all right. Have a great night, everybody. We love and appreciate you. We look forward to talking to you soon.